Hello students, so welcome to next video. So today we will go for the fourth semester inorganic chemistry solution of the 2 marks question, okay, of the September 2021 recently, which you have completed this examination. Okay, so as I said, so in the last class we had discussed regarding the third semester inorganic question paper, and why I am focusing for this 2 marks is because if you score very good marks in these 2 marks questions, then there is a possibility of clearing the examination as well as the scoring good marks. Okay, so you should know what points has to be covered in the 2 marks is very much important. Then the descriptive is no problem, so you can score some points for writing some of the points here, but in 2 marks question, so the required point should be there, then only you will get the marks. Okay, so that is why this is very much important. So see here in the fourth semester, the first question is in the complex tungsten, okay, Cp twice. So this is what the problem, this is Cp twice, Co twice, dicarbonyl. Okay, so this is what is follows 18 electron rule. So that is he has shown that it is going to follow the 18 electron rule. And what is the heptacity of cyclopentadiene? So what is the heptacity of the cyclopentadiene? So you have to get the this one. So this is how cyclopentadiene, you know that. So this is, we can take the structure of the cyclopentadiene, and this is your true carbon monoxide. Okay, now we have to see the cyclopentadiene at by which the electron donation is been bonded here. So either the 5 electron, or either it may bond with the 3 electron, or like this, or both 5 electron. So there is question because 1 2 3 4 5 carbon is there, the 5 electron can be donated by the cyclopentadienyl, even 3 also. So that's what I said, always it depends on the 18 electron system here. So for stability, is it right? Now for this you have to know the valence electron of the tungsten here. Okay, so that is very much important. That's what in the class I regular I highlighted for this tungsten and rhodium, iridium. So these are some of things, so you have to know the what to say, the valence electron of this, because we are using much Wilkinson's catalyst we are using. Okay, and like this in this transition elements, so some of in the catalyst portion we are using this type of elements, and that's why you should know some even molybdenum like this. Okay, so you should know some of the valence electron of these elements. Okay, so tungstens definitely, as if you see, so this is around this having the 6 valence electrons. Okay, so this is important. Okay, and these 2 carbonyl, you know that each carbonyl is going to donate how many electrons? So 2 electrons, that is 2 2s are 4 electrons. So this is by 2 carbonyl, and this is your valence electrons of tungsten. Okay, so it becomes 10 electrons now. So he has already said that it is a 18 electron rule here. So another 8 electron is required, and that is satisfied by this cyclopentadiene. And as I said, see, 18 means another 8 electrons is required. So definitely one will go for all 5 like this. Okay, so that is 5 electrons. So plus 5 from one Cp cyclopentadiene, and another Cp will give now how many electron? 3 electrons. That is what this one. So 3 electrons. It is not going to give all the 5 electrons. It is going to furnish only 3 electrons. One cyclopentadiene. The total how many? 5 plus 3. 5 is 8, and this is 10. That is your 18. So that's why the cyclopentadienyl heptacity will be 5 comma 3. So this is what you have to write. If possible, you can give the structure also. So just check it. Okay, very simple it was, but provided you should know the valence electron of the tungsten, then only it will be correct. Otherwise it is very danger question. Okay, if you don't know the valence electron, or if you take 7, or if you take 5, or if you take 8 also, then that will be wrong answering will be the result here. So be cautious for this. Okay, now you can see the second question here. So I will just check it here. In the second question, what is asked here? So in the second question, you can see that cyclobutadiene, the four-membered ring in cyclobutadiene complexes behave not as a diene but as an aromatic species. Substantiate the statement with the example. So simple, this also is very simple because he has asked about the cyclobutadiene. So we know that this is what the cyclobutadiene, and always we represent this whenever it is going to form the complex, that is FeCO3. So like this, okay. So this we are going to represent like this, okay. So but what about the cyclobutadiene? What is this nature of this? So we have learned the cyclobutadiene, it is actually the anti-aromatic in nature, okay. So this is what we have learned in the properties of the cyclobutadiene, that in this neutral form, okay. So in this neutral form of the cyclobutadiene, you can see that this is a 4 electron system, you know that this is a 4 electron to 4 electron system. And when this is 4 electron system, you know it is an anti-aromatic unstable. This is a anti-aromatic and unstable, anti-aromatic and unstable. So this is what about the cyclobutadiene, okay, as a free molecule. So but the question is, rather than, that's why it is difficult for a diene. So it is very difficult for a diene, but it behaves as a aromatic in nature, because in a diionic form, if you see the diionic form, because 4 electron plus if you supply the 2 electrons, so it becomes 6 electron, okay. So what who is going to do, that is what best is metals, and that's why the metals will furnish the electrons, and they will make the cyclobutadiene, which is anti-aromatic and very unstable molecule, into a stable aromatic nature by supplying the electrons in a dianic. And that's why we can see that the cyclobutadiene organometallic complexes are very good in nature, okay. So they are found in very larger in nature, okay. So this is what because of the 6 electron system, so what happens, it becomes a 6 electron system upon binding with the metals, okay, bond formation with the metals, and they form as a aromatic in nature, okay. So this is what we can see, and we have seen that you can give example of the same thing. So if you take this one compound of cyclobutadiene, so dicyclobutane, okay, dihalo cyclobutane. So I have substituted these two dihalocyclobutane, and then I treat this with your what is that Na2FeCO4, okay. So this compound Na2FeCO4, so definitely I am going to get this compound now. So that is what Fe, and this is your CO3. So this one example you can give to substantiate that after getting the 2 electrons from this, so this becomes very good aromatic and very stable molecule, okay. So this is how you can show, and there are so many examples is there. So you can show by ruthenium or molybdenum CO4, sodium molybdenum also you can show that same thing you can take for the molybdenum also, CO4. So you are going to get the compound very stable and very aromatic compound like molybdenum CO4, like this, okay. So like this, some of the examples you can give and substantiate this what is that, this question, okay. That is 4-membered ring cyclobutadiene complexes, it's not as a diene, but it is behaving as a aromatic in nature. So this is how you can substantiate with example. So definitely your answer should have at least one reaction, and with this type of what you say, the points, okay. So to get the marks. Next you can see here, third question, that is give the significance of water gas shift reaction. Give the significance of water gas shift reaction, okay. So question number 3, water gas shift reaction, this is very much important. Water gas shift reaction, he has asked for this water gas shift reaction, okay. And you know that what is this water gas shift is, okay. So we have learned this that with points that it provides, you know, the source of hydrogen, very efficient hydrogen gas is going to be got from this water gas shift reaction. So if you see the water gas, you know, just water. So if when the carbon is treated with water, so you are going to get like CO plus H2, okay, CO plus H2, and this is nothing but your syngas. We call it as a syngas. And what is water gas shift now? So whatever this carbon monoxide is generated is when it treats with the water molecule vapor here, so you are going to get the water carbon dioxide plus a very efficient hydrogen gas is liquid. This is called is a This is called as a water gas shift. This is your shift, water gas shift, this reaction. That's why it is equilibrium. Okay, so you are going to get this importance here. Very efficient hydrogen at the cost of carbon monoxide. So you are going to get this very efficient hydrogen as a fuel. And that's why now you have to write what is the significance of this now. So significance is what now here. So we are using this in the production of hydrogen. You know that we are using the production of ammonia. Haber's process, you know that 3H2. Okay, and with nitrogen we are using this we are synthesizing this ammonia. Okay, so and even you can give the significance in Monsanto process. We are using this, okay, hydrogen as well as this syngas shift, the product we are going to use in this Monsanto process for this methanol production. Okay, then Fischer-Tropsch production also we can use Fischer-Tropsch of this what you say hydrocarbons synthesis. This also you can give the significance where we can use this. Okay, so like this you have to mention one or two, you can mention it, and you can show that how this Fischer-Tropsch is going to help for the what you say for this synthesis. Okay, so at the main thing is what it is going to provide the source of hydrogen here. So that is what the main thing is. It's going to provide a source of hydrogen at the expense of the carbon monoxide, and which is responsible for the production of high purity of hydrogen. And that's why even in fuel cells also you can see that this has been highly used. Okay, so this is how you can write for some of the points for this question. Okay, very good. Next. Now this is what water gas shift reaction. So here requirement is reaction is very much important, both reactions, syngas as well as water gas shift reaction, and 3 significance, okay, where it has been used. So that is expected here. So next is explain why Wacker's process is carried out in the presence of copper 2 salts. Yes, so copper 2 salts, why it is used? Very simple it is. Okay, so why you are using the copper 2 salts in Wacker's process? You know that Wacker's process, all of you will be well versed this Wacker's process, because in 4th semester always this Wacker's process is been asked, and you know that copper 2 salts is being used, okay, in this as oxidizing agents. Okay, as a oxidizing agent. Okay, so some reaction if you are writing, that's very good in the reaction, but main thing is what, without copper 2 reaction, so it is not possible as oxidizing agent. What will happen here? So in the cycle you can see that palladium is in 0 state in one case while cycle opens, so palladium will come in the 0 state in one case. Okay, and in that case what is required here? CuCl2, copper plus 2 is required here in this case. Otherwise if you don't use this CuCl2, what will happen now? This palladium in 0 state will precipitate out. Okay, so this will precipitate out. This is very much important. Okay, so this would precipitate out, and what will happen? The reaction will be stopped at one cycle, and the reaction will be stopped. Okay, so one cycle, so reaction will be stopped. This is very much important. We don't require this. Cycle means what? So it should be continued. Okay, so that is what. But here if you don't use copper 2, whenever in the cycle, once the palladium comes in 0 state here by losing its chlorine here for the production of the product here, so 0 state palladium when it is created, so if there is no copper 2, so this will precipitate out and that will stop the reaction. Okay, and this is happening. But to avoid this, what happens? So this copper 2 oxidizes palladium 0 into again plus 2 state. Again this palladium plus 2 will take chlorine wherever it has been liberated here. Again it will form PdCl2 in this way. Okay, again forming palladium chloride, so in this way, and again the cycle continues. So this is how the role of copper plus 2 here. Okay, so this is how you have to explain here, and you know that you are very good in this Wacker's process, because everybody in the class also we stress for this Wacker's process, and you know the cycle. And only thing is that, okay fine, but these two things is very much important in copper 2, like the oxidizing agents and palladium. Without this the cycle will stop at the only one cycle, and the palladium is precipitated out in the absence of the copper, because copper, and it is a copper which will again oxidize the palladium 0 state to plus 2 state, and the cycle will restart. So this point is very much important. Apart from, and if you are well with this reaction, so you can put as we have seen in the class, so that reactions you can put. Okay, so of copper palladium 0 state comes, and second reaction you can take that palladium 0 to palladium plus 2 state in the presence of copper, so that you can represent here. So this is what about the this question. Okay, so that is thing you have to include here. Okay, Wacker's process. It is for 2 marks, so no need to show all the cycles and all. So as I said, 2-3 points will be there, requirement will be there. If you write the equations, yeah, that's what reactions, well and good. Otherwise what I said, so that way you can explain it, that is more than sufficient. Understood? Next one. What is principle of thermogrammetric analysis? So you know what is this principle of the TGA, thermogrammetric analysis. Very simple. So you know that what is the principle of this. So only 2 points you can write here. To measure the thermal stability, it is to measure the, this word is very much important, thermal stability. To measure the thermal stability of a material or substances. Okay, so this is very much important. Thermal stability is very much important. And second point is very important here is to composition of the component, that is your percentage. To calculate the percentage composition of components of the components. Okay, components. So this is very much important. This is what about the what I can say, the principle of the thermogrammetric analysis. Okay, principle. So one thing is what, the maintain the, to know the thermal stability of the material. So at what temperature the material gets loses its water molecule. Okay, and the molecular weight decreases, that is the thermal stability. And second one is percentage composition of the components, composition of the components. So how much percentage decrease will be there in the weight by the expulsion of the water molecules at particular temperature, different stage of the temperature. So we can, by this we can know the percentage composition. And that's what in the problem you are going to find out the when you go for calcium carbonate and all. So that is not required, but this is what we, with this two principle only we calculate the percentage composition of calcium carbonate with the help of the TGA. So this is what the two principles you can mention for the TGA. Okay. But these 2 points should come in your paper. Next, what is the role of nebulizer in AAS, atomic absorption spectrometer? See, AAS we have learned this very nicely in the class, atomic absorption spectroscopy. Okay, so what is this nebulizer? So nebulizer means, you know that, so in the instrument, in the flow chart I have told you, that is a hollow cathode lamp will be there, cathode lamp will be there. Okay, and what when from this what will happen, the rays will come, and here there is your flame. Okay, so this is your flame here, and from here, so there is some like this. Okay, something like this. So this is your nebulizer, this is your nebulizer, and to the nebulizer you can see here, so there is your sample, this is your sample, that is test solution, test sample, like this. And what is the role of nebulizer now? So this is they are asked, what is the role of the nebulizer? So sample you are taking here, see here, and sample is flown in like this to this nebulizer. And what is the role of nebulizer? To make this sample to get reach this flame now. But as if the sample is not going to reach something, it is doing something is done by the nebulizer for the sample now. So what is that? So that you have to write here. Okay, so that is the introduction of the liquid sample here. So this is correct now, the introduction of the liquid sample. So sample is here, so introduction of the liquid sample into the AAS, that is atomic absorption, liquid sample into the flame here, atomic absorption. So that is, it converts the sample solution here through by the word that is called aerosol. This is very much important, tiny droplets, tiny droplet, this word is very much important. Okay, so it will convert this sample to aerosol, tiny droplets, with the help of some compressed gas will be there here. So there is been compressed gas. Okay, so with the help of compressed gas mechanism will be there. So this is what. Okay, so it is going to suck the liquid here. So some pipeline will be there here like this, it is going to suck the liquid here, up the liquid sample here. Okay, at a controlled rate here. So at a controlled rate it is going to, because we are computerized here, so particular rate we are fixing here, and the sample is been sucked here into this nebulizer here. And here it is going to create a fine aerosol. This is important, it is here it is going to create a fine aerosol that mixes with the fuel oxidant, and here what this been designed here. Okay, and it has been introduced into the flame here like this, in the fire, in the form of tiny droplets here. Okay, here. And for this it uses the combustion flame here, and to atomize the, here atoms are atomized here. Okay, that's why it is called AAS, atomic absorption. So here absorption, the atoms are going to absorb the flame here, a particular wavelength, and they are going to be excited here. But we are taking only here absorption, not emission here. So absorption, what amount of wavelength is absorbed here by these atoms, tiny droplets. Okay, so this is what happening here, and that work is done by the nebulizer. Okay, so here atomize, the atoms are atomized here, and the introduction of sample into the light path is been done by this nebulizer. So this thing you have to explain. for the nebulizer. Okay, if you put this diagram and just explain very good. Otherwise, this word should come. That is your aerosol work, tiny droplets work, and the compressed gas. With the help of compressed gas, it will be introduced into the flame. So these things should be there as a point into this question. That is your nebulizer. Okay, atomic absorption. Next one is, what is the inorganic phosphorus? Give examples. Okay, so you know that what is the inorganic phosphorus. So inorganic phosphorus, you know, so we have in last moment we have learned this in the class also, inorganic phosphorus, because fluorescent lamp you have learned where we phosphor we are using there. So I think with that of knowledge you can write that also. So main thing is what it consists of a host material. Okay, inorganic phosphorus is nothing having the host material which is a crystalline form. Okay, this is very much important, and it is having doped, so doped with some rare earth elements, transition or rare earth transition, or doped with transition or some rare earth elements. Okay, doped with transition or some rare earth elements. In class we have taken cerium plus 3 or yttrium, ytterbium. Okay, so these things can be used as activators, as activators. Okay, doped in this host cell. Okay, and the main thing is what the work of this is what which converts the light. So this is convert the light. This is important. This word is important. Convert the light. So what is the work of this inorganic phosphorus? They convert the light from shorter wavelength, you know, so from the shorter wavelength, this is important, to longer wavelength, shorter wavelength to longer wavelength or higher wavelength, and that is what called Stokes shift. That is we call it as a Stokes shift. Is you know that, no? So from shorter wavelength to longer wavelength. Okay, or from higher frequency to lower frequency, in that way. Okay, so this is called as your Stokes shift. Okay, that thing you have to use, and via how it is going to form electronic transition from the electronic transition of these activators or sensors used in the host material. So this is what, and what is the examples you can do. Some examples they asked, so that you can write it as a silicates, host of silicates. I have given most phosphates, anything you can write on. Then aluminates. Okay, these are all the host materials, aluminates, then borates. Okay, then you can write of something non-oxides, host, like this. So these are some of the examples you can write. Particularly if you want to go, then so phosphate we are using at a sodium tripolyphosphate, sodium tripolyphosphate. So this is one type of inorganic phosphor, sodium tripolyphosphates, like we are taking here as a phosphates generally. So like this, so sodium tripolyphosphate. So this is an example of the inorganic phosphorus. Okay, and activators I have told you, ytterbium, Yb plus 3, cerium plus 3, we are using it here. And the best example is what, your YAG. Okay, that is what the laser technique we are using this YAG. That is your yttrium aluminum garnets. This is garnets. Even neobidium and ruby. So we are using cerium, and in this neobidium, okay, plus 3 plus 4, something like that we are using in this laser also. So that is what host material aluminum oxide will be there. So so this is what aluminate will be there. So this is what acting as a inorganic phosphorus. In the tube also we are used. Okay, in fluorescent tube, I think we have explained in the class also. So in this we are having the fluorescent inorganic phosphorus. Okay, and it is going to convert this UV light into white light. So this also we have UV light into white light. Okay, so this also we have learned. So that is what in brief, in 2-3 points you have to write this inorganic phosphorus, as well as the its example. I think they have asked some examples, so you can give some examples also. Okay, yes, give some examples. Give some examples. Yeah, as I said, phosphates, aluminate, so silicates, so many things are there. So you can give any 3-4 is there. And inorganic phosphorus, activator, sensors, sensitizer. This word should come, and that's what I explained now. So some few things should come in your answers. Okay, so this is very much expected here. Okay, and last one is what? What is your what is this? Misner's effect. Yes, very simple. So this also we have you learned this Misner's effect. Misner's effect. What is this Misner's effect? So this is the expulsion of the magnetic flux. This is nothing but expulsion. This word is very much important. Expulsion of magnetic flux. Magnetic flux. Okay, so from where? So from the material. Okay, when the material, you can write down, when the material, what happens to the materials becomes what? Superconductor. This is very much important. Superconductor, when the material becomes a superconductor. Okay, so in the magnetic field, in the magnetic field, so this is very much important. Okay, so what happens when it becomes superconductor in the magnetic field? Expulsion of magnetic flux will be there when the metal superconductor changes. And when, what will happen here? So by this, what will happen here? So it loses losing its what is that, your resistance. Okay, it losing its resistance towards what? Towards the flow of electric current, towards flow of electric current. So it loses the resistance. That is important. There is no resistance at all, because superconductor is formed the superconductor, though there is no resistance. It loses the resistance towards the flow of the electric current. This is very much important here. And when it loses the resistance towards the flow of the electric current, when you cool the material, at a certain temperature, when you cool the material at a certain temperature. And what is the temperature called? Certain temperature, it is called as critical temperature, or even transition temperature, anything you can call it. Okay, transition temperature you call, or critical temperature you call. And usually it is close to what? Close to absolute zero, which is very close to the absolute zero. So this is very much important. Okay, that is called your magnetic flux. Okay, you take the material, any material where your temperature is greater than Tc. Okay, transition temperature. So what will happen? All the magnetic flux will pass through this, like this. Okay, and this is called your normal conductor. This is called your normal conductor. Now if you cool this, that means if you make this temperature less than Tc, now temperature less than Tc, what will happen now? This is going to convert into superconductor. Now this is going to convert into superconductor. Now this you place in magnetic field. Now if you place this in magnetic field, now this superconductor, now what will happen? Now the whole magnetic flux is expelled out, like this. The whole magnetic field is expelled out, and this effect is called as your Meissner effect. This effect is called as your Meissner effect, where all the magnetic flux, where it is entering into this material and its normal conductor, all is expelled out here when this is converted to here, like this. And that effect we call it as a Meissner effect. Okay, so this thing, so by this diagram also you can mention it, or if you want you can explain with what I have told you now, just like the explanation in this way. Okay, so anything if you answer in this way, so you are going to get the the full marks. Okay, so fine, dear students. Now I think we have got all these 2 marks questions here for the 4th semester. Okay, and you can judge now how much marks you are going to get for the 4th semester for 2 marks. And after judging, if you think that you are scoring more than 10 here, definitely I can say that you are going to score very good, above 40 in this paper. But if you fail here by taking less than 5, you are going to fail in this examination, or by to the edge you may pass just by taking 30 marks. Okay, so this I can surely say. And for 3rd semester also, I can say that these 2 marks will definitely tell you your future of scoring in this paper. Okay, in 3rd semester also very beautiful, we have solved it in the 3rd semester paper also. Only thing is that IR, so that is what I guess some students may have the problem with that. IR, two significant figures that to give the examples and the structure. Otherwise all the questions I think in the 3rd semester was very straightforward, and here also all the questions you can see here, all very straightforward questions are there. Only thing is first one, tungsten is there. So but I said we have solved maximum papers in the regular classes, maximum complexes with respect to this tungsten, rhodium, iridium. So there should not be any problem to guess the valence electron of this tungsten. Okay, so this only I think that if you guess this valence electron, definitely you will write the heptacity of this correctly, otherwise you may lose your marks. Okay, this also same thing very nicely we have done in the regular class, cyclobutadiene complexes. So definitely anti-aromatic unstable, but why it becomes aromatic here? So because it is going to provide the electrons metal, and it is going to form the 6 electron. Now 4 electron is going to convert to 6 electron by the metal. And substantiate statement means you have to give that one example of cyclobutadiene with iron CO3 or molybdenum CO4. So this is very much important here, and that becomes a stable now, otherwise it will dimerize. Okay, so that is not stable, so it will go to dimerization or vaporization. So some things is because of the instability or anti-aromatic nature of the cyclobutadiene. So that thing you have to substantiate here. And water gas ship, definitely two equations is very much required here. So as I said, the syngas CO plus H2, as well as water gas ship, that is your CO2 plus H2. So when it treated with the water, so that is what. And significance is asked, you have given 4 significant, you can also give anything, Fischer-Tropsch, or what is that, your ammonia synthesis, okay, then fuel gas. So 3 4 you can give, or Monsanto process. This all significance we can, you can give for this two reactions, where it is useful, that because that H2 is a very good fuel what we are getting here. Otherwise it's very difficult for production of H2 fuel, very purity form here, because very explosive in nature. So here we are getting very easily at the cost of carbon monoxide. So that is what the significant of the carbon monoxide here. Here also same thing, Wacker's process, very well defined process. This is always asked in the questions. And copper 2 definitely, so precipitates out with in the absence of copper 2, and cycle will stop at one cycle only. These two words is very much important here. If provided, you can give some cycle equations or reactions, two reactions you can, no need to go for cycle, but two reactions of that you can mention it here. And this I have told you, principle of thermogrammetry, definitely two things should come here. So one is thermal stability of the complexes, and the percentage component determination. So for these two things we can use this thermogrammetry, and that is what the principle of the thermogrammetric analysis. Nebulizers, definitely, so I showed you the nebulizers. So main work is the heart of the AAS here, because it is the one which is going to choose or suck the test sample, and introduce this into the flame with the help of compressed gas in the form of droplets, okay, with the form of the fine droplets, okay, and which in the form of aerosols, and that is what the work of the nebulizer. So these three words should come in your answer. Finally, inorganic phosphorus, as I said, the best example phosphate, whatever you take it here. And this is what inorganic phosphorus is, nothing but your the component, any solid component, host material having some activators and sensitizers, which are helping for the movement of the wavelength from the shorter to the higher wavelength. And that is what Stokes shift is going to happen, and that is what the inorganic phosphorus work is. And some examples, as I said, fluorescent lamp we are using, and some examples you can do give that sodium polyphosphates we are used. Some examples you can give it here. And finally, the Missner's effect. Yes, that's definitely explosion of the magnetic flux from the body is called the Missler's effect. And when this happens when you at absolute zero temperature, when you cool the material, so that becomes a superconductor. And when you place that superconductor in magnetic field, it is going to expel all the magnetic field from it. And that process, that effect, we call it as a Missner effect. Okay. So hope students, I think you have done very good here in this solving this all the questions. And just after seeing this video, you can judge what you have written, just recall, and you can mention here itself as after seeing this video, so how much you get here by listening this video. So and you can write down here how much out of 15 marks, how much you are going to score in this year. Okay. And with this you can judge at least 80% or 70% more, I can say, near to your final results. You can judge here how much you are going to score. Okay. So I said you more than 10, definitely beautiful, 45 plus, and more than less than 10, edge, definitely 5 or 6 if you score. And if you score to 1 2, then fail, definitely. Okay. So because here itself is a catchy, this itself is a catchy, because rest of thing, when the descriptive, when we are going to solve, definitely you are going to make a lot of mistakes here. Okay. And the most, you are not going to succeed in getting all these marks. Okay. So we will come to that also. So when in the next video I am going to solve the descriptive for your third semester, followed by the fourth semester. So I thought this is very much important here, because here scoring is very much important. That's why for both the paper I have solved this 2 marks questions. Okay. So hope you got this advantage of this. In the next video I will go for the descriptive for the third semester, followed by the fourth semester. Thank you.